shows that Epstein didn't have anything that damning where he would have released it. And again, if Biden, who his DOJ did everything they could to put him in jail for 4 years, if they'd had any inkling or any tidbit that was damning, I think we would know that by now.
Then why is Trump acting so weird?
Now, I 100% agree. I 100% agree with that. The Democrats had anything on Donald Trump. Come on now. Come on. Or had at that time, they would have been released it. Now, let me say this very carefully. When voters start showing up at your house yelling, we voted for you and you lied to us, something has already gone very wrong. All right? And no, this didn't happen in some random city. This happened in New York City. This is besides the video that y'all just seen. Just look at that like an intro. But barely weeks into a brand new mayor's term, Zohran Mamdani, because what started as nothing to see here escalated pretty fast.
That's right, we know about your mom. Now listen, we was with you, Zohran. We voted for you, Zohran. We advocated for you, Zohran. We advocated for you. You ain't getting up, get up in there and lie to us. You lied, Zohran. Shame, Zohran.
Shame! Shame!
The first line was CCRB, Zohran.
Shame!
CCRB had the final say, Zohran.
Shame! Now, listen, I know the audio is not that great, but if you were able to make out what they were saying, I want you to really dissect what they were actually saying. Not we hate you, not we disagree. They're saying, hey, we trusted you. That's what the transcript is saying. That's different. That's betrayal language right there. That's what happens when people realize the story that was sold doesn't match reality. All right? Ended up, you know what I mean? They ain't know the value of it until, man, I'm trying to tell you. People tried to warn y'all, though. And notice, this isn't Republicans. These are the people saying, we voted for you. Which brings us to the question nobody wanted to answer. Cue it.
It's honestly embarrassing how many New Yorkers fell for Zohran's bullshit. Are you going to stop referring to the Epstein files now that his mother has been mentioned in them and that she went to one of his parties after he was convicted? Yeah, that's how much of a Nepo baby Zohran is. His mother was invited to Epstein's parties. But you guys thought oh no, it's this Indian guy from Africa. This Muslim guy who's totally a communist. Look he wears a cheap watch. How dumb are you? Actually, how gullible? I don't understand. How are there so many smart people in New York and they're so dumb? It's honestly embarrassing.
There it is, though. That's the moment everything shifts, because now it's not about policy. It's not about rent or transit or slogans. It's family connections now. And suddenly the crowd isn't confused anymore. You're starting to see them get a little riled up. They're angry. This is the buildup right here. Before anyone jumps in with the usual deflection, no one is saying guilt is, saying guilt by blood, right? But people are asking why they weren't told the full story up front.
When Zohran Mamdani's mom's name shows up in the Epstein files, and the collective left, the progressives, the propagandists, and the liars in the media who have been using the Epstein files to try to destroy the Trump administration since he took office back in January, don't care, it's a pretty good indication that they never really cared about what's actually in the files or the victims. They just wanted something they could beat Trump up with. Wait a second, Patriot Dad, are you telling me that Zohran Mamdani's mom's name is in the Epstein files? Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. Zohran Mamdani's mother is a film director by the name of Mira Nair. And yes, Mira Nair's name is showing up in the Epstein files. So I decided to take a screen recording of her route so you can actually see the document itself. And in this document, you'll see Peggy Siegel is emailing Jeffrey Epstein. And she says, I just left Ghislaine Maxwell's townhouse. After party for a film. Bill Clinton and Jeff Bezos and Gene Peruzzi and director Mira Nair are in attendance. This Mira Nair, Zohran Mamdani's mother, held an after party for a movie that she directed at Ghislaine Maxwell's townhouse back in 2009. And I'll remind you, 2009 is not that long after Jeffrey Epstein accepted a plea deal for the things that he was doing to underage girls down in southern Florida, in which Ghislaine Maxwell was named as a conspirator in that case. So these people Mir and Nair, Bill Clinton, Jeff Bezos, and everyone else that was there for this after party, they knew that when they were hanging out with Ghislaine Maxwell, who, by the way, was one of the best friends and business partners and everything else of Jeffrey Epstein. Question for you. Why would Mir and Nair be associated with that circle of people going all the way back to 2009? And another question for you. How is it possible that somebody who is hanging out with the Epstein orbit with Ghislaine Maxwell, her son ends up as the mayor of New York City?
We have the receipts, as you can see. Not memes. This ain't no rumors. This is actual documents, emails, names, and dates, y'all. That's crazy. Mira McNair. Let me see if I can rewind it a bit for you guys who may want to look at the email. Oh, well, it's too small for us to really be able to see from here. But, yeah. And here's what matters, though. The left didn't deny the document exists. They didn't dispute the email at all. Like, at all. They just said, don't talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's where we at. And when politicians say that, voters hear something else entirely. All right? They hear, we hope you wouldn't notice. And this is what happens next. When leadership refuses transparency, the internet fills the vacuum. Somebody has to say it. It says, there's a very real possibility Zohran Mamdani is Jeffrey Epstein's biological son. I don't know. I wasn't there. You know, the internet is running real wild right now. It's on fire with the Epstein and everything. You got wild claims. You got AI images. You got outrage forming. So let me be clear. This clip shows how out of control the narrative became. Not necessarily what's true, you know, in terms of the photo. But here's the key lesson. If you don't draw the line early with honesty, someone else will draw it for you. And they won't be careful.
Okay, they finally released the Epstein files. Let's get into it. So in the 3 million documents that were released, Donald Trump is mentioned over 5,000 times. And I know liberals, you're like, oh my God. However, I need you to know that Obama was mentioned 2,500 times. Your boy Clinton was mentioned 3,900 times, and Bill Gates is mentioned 6,300 times. The way that the system works is you can type in someone's name and it will show you any document with that person's name. So the DOJ did warn, just because someone is mentioned does not mean they are accused. And I will say, after pouring through hundreds of these documents so far, that is definitely the case. A lot of the mentions about Trump, the vast majority, are things about his real estate dealings or just an email sent from one person to the next about Trump's campaign, or just fluff, honestly. Now, one document I do want to discuss is the NTOC call log. This was the FBI's tip line where people were calling and leaving anonymous accusations against Trump. Now, they're saying all types of stuff in here, but when you look closer, for the vast majority of them, when the FBI reached back out to try and get more information, the person never responded. They either left a bad phone number. They said that they were going to send an email with more information. They never did. Even one person, the FBI said they were deemed not credible because that person had 3 separate reports of the law enforcement needing to call and have them mentally evaluated. So again, I'm going to keep looking through all of this because if Trump is guilty of something, I want to know. Right? As a Trump supporter and as a mother to a young girl, I care about this. I do want to know. But I will also be looking into why Gates is mentioned 6,000 times. Obama is mentioned 2,000 times. Clinton is mentioned almost 4,000 times. You guys should care about whoever's on this list, not just Donald Trump. And I have to say, this one document really gives credit to Trump's claims that the left slandered him throughout his entire campaign run, because they literally had people calling the FBI and making up stories about Trump. Now, I'm going to keep reading. And again, if he is guilty, I want to know. But I must say, what I'm seeing so far leaves a lot to be desired.
Okay, me too. I want to know if he is guilty. I want to know. Now, I think the biggest misconception about Trump supporters is that we blindly support this man. Love Trump, man. Got nothing but love for the man. Definitely played a huge role in changing my life. But if that man was on the island doing something we didn't, Come on now. I'm a father and I'm God-fearing before anything. But y'all just seen the contrast. Because while the media was busy screaming Trump's name appears 1,000 times, someone finally explained why. Appreciate the sister. Dang, dog, I got food on. Look, y'all, I ain't gonna lie. I've been over here eating. When I cut the screen off, I'm gonna keep it real. Oh, excuse me. But she finally explained why. Mentions aren't evidence, right? Search hits aren't guilt, right? And suddenly the entire Trump narrative collapses under basic scrutiny, which is ironic because the same people demanding nuance here refused it everywhere else.
Actually, I thought there was a very interesting email between Epstein and Michael Wolff. And Michael Wolff says to Epstein, if you have anything juicy about Trump to change the narrative, this was back, I believe, in the first term, now would be the time to do it because Epstein was coming under fire. If Epstein had something juicy, he would have loved to change the narrative and reveal it. And I would note that all of the claims that you made in the intro were, as you mentioned, from unverified sources. They were looked into, and those complainants were deemed not credible. And there were multiple incidents with those folks involving police and psychiatric evaluations. So look, I think, if anything, this shows that Epstein didn't have anything that damning where he would have released it. And again, if Biden, who his DOJ did everything they could to put him in jail for 4 years, if they'd had any inkling or any tidbit that was damning, I think we would know that by now.
Then why is Trump acting so weird?
For a fact, we would know that by now. The Democrats would love nothing more. I mean, nothing more than to take our guy Trump down, man. But if anything, releasing the files has backfired tremendously on them. And for him, it's just corroborating the story. This is the part they never answer, though. If Epstein had real dirt on Trump, why didn't he use it? Just saying. He used everything else. He burned everyone else. But Trump, nothing? Yeah. And that reason matters because Trump wasn't useful to him. If anything, he was a problem.
We have other things to do because that whole thing has turned out, other than Bill Clinton and, Bill Gates and lots of people there are a lot of questions about it, but nothing on me. But it was even sort of better than that because they found that Jeffrey Epstein and this sleazebag writer named Michael Wolff were conspiring against Donald Trump to lose the election. So Epstein was conspiring with a writer for me to lose the election. So right there, that I had nothing to do with this guy. But yeah, it's a terrible thing. The amount of time that's being wasted. When Epstein was alive, like 10 years ago, nobody cared about it. But they're only doing it. But now it's really hitting back on them because Bill Clinton is such a big part of it. The Democrats are pushing it. And the problem is that it's turning out to be the Democrats that were with and conspired with Epstein. So I think you're probably going to see a little pullback from them. But think of it. They were working together to try and help me lose the election. But this is the Oval Office, so I guess that didn't work out too well.
Yep, it didn't. Now we're watching it happen in real time. The Epstein files were supposed to be a weapon. Instead, they exposed everybody else in their patterns. Who talks, who hides, who gets protected, and who gets dragged, even when there's nothing there. They didn't hurt Trump. It definitely hurt the credibility of the people that pushed the story, though. Like our guy. It says breaking founder Harvey Harvey is named in the Epstein files. Described as a good friend who could run a global PR effort to defend convicted pedophile Jeffrey Epstein and smear his victims and accusers. Yet TMZ has stayed eerily silent on the entire document dump. And then Alex responded with, I guess this explains why TMZ didn't cover Jay-Z being named in the Epstein files. Yo, this has over 2 million views. I'm just saying, I zoom out. Because once people notice the selective outrage, they start asking dangerous questions. Why this name? Why not that one? Why full coverage here and total silence over there? That's when those conversations start happening. That's not conspiracy thinking. That's pattern recognition, as I said earlier. What do y'all see? Y'all see any patterns right there? Hold on. I could probably zoom in a little bit for this one, just for a second. What do y'all see? Look at all them reports. Yep. Media doesn't lose trust overnight. It leaks out slowly every time people realize the rules change depending on who's involved. And once that realization hits, that it never unhits. I don't really know what other way to say it. Now, here's the part nobody expected. This is completely left field. This is something I wanted to have some fun with. Bethany posted, I know somebody who is not on the Epstein list, the legend, Mel Gibson himself. Yep. The people who warned about Hollywood, the ones mocked, the ones that got sidelined, they're not on the list, while the respectable voices are scrambling in panic mode. Voters are standing outside gates yelling, "We were with you." You know, that's not right-wing uprising. That's not that. That's what happens when narratives collapse under their own weight. This escalated fast, though, not because of politics, but because people felt played. I did the same thing, man. You see me with my deposit don't hit. If Google had an office. No, my deposit hits. It do. Thank God. Amen. But if you made it all the way to the end of this video, I want you to comment simply the word escalated. Yes, escalated. So I know who caught every layer of this. Now, before I get up out of here, it was a comment that I got today. Ooh, excuse me. I did not mean to do that. I'm sorry. Sinus is going crazy. However, it was a comment that I got from, how you say this? You know I'm going to mess up your name. It's like Beerpree 68. But this comment stuck out to me. It was like, mask off. Man, it's really great having our man King Blitz back. I know you haven't been physically gone, but ever since YouTube hit you with that BS demonetization and other extremely difficult, emotionally draining challenges, the unique, charismatic Blitz vibe just wasn't quite there. Understandably so. I'm sure most people probably would have fallen back for a while. Much love and respect for toughening it out and still providing us with entertainment while healing from it. It's really nice having you back. He put in quotations. Really nice having you back, brother. God bless you and your loved ones. I want to say I truly appreciate that message. You don't know how much that means to me. Yes, I've gone through some uphill battles with you too. Y'all seen me in tears at one point. And, you know, I will admit, it definitely, even now, it still has its frustrations. But, you know, I wake up every day and I get to experience dissecting things in a way that people, I get to experience people appreciating the way that I dissect things. And I'm able to provide for my family off of that. So because of that, man, it's extremely motivating. And regardless of the ups and downs, I'm going to keep on pushing. You got to push. You got to push until you get it right. However, y'all be safe. Go check with somebody today. I just got my food. I'm finna go eat that thing. Let me go give me a sip of this drink. And yeah, you could be saving their life. Peace.